Guys, I gotta tell you, I'm really excited. God is so good. Before I talk about where we're at Deir, and the thing that makes it super exciting is this is actually the village that we came to last time with the sports equipment and provided it to this village. And the village leader actually drove us right past this hill, I didn't even know it at the time, and took us to a famous mosque where one of the companions of Muhammad is buried and died. So if I'm in this little area right beneath Deir, which is in the village of Deir, which we brought the sports equipment to, and we're about to climb up to the tell. It's a huge mound of dirt where they found the inscription about Bal'am. All right, so let me give you a little story right here. Bal'am is the seer that lived in the land, this area, this land. Okay, you have the kingdom of Ammon, or you got the Edomites in the far south, you got the Ammonites in the middle, and you got the Moabites. The Moabites are terrified. This guy named Balak, king of Moab, is terrified because he sees Israel, like this invading army, coming through this valley. And he sends princes 3 different times to Balaam and asks him to curse Israel. And every single time, I mean, you can't believe, they built 7 altars. They went to 3 different locations, and they could look out and see Israel. And 3 times, the king of Moab, Balak, says to the seer Balaam, curse him, curse him. He said, I'll give you anything you want. Curse him. And they built 7 altars. And on every single altar, they sacrificed a bull and a ram, I believe it was. We're talking a lot of bling here. And every single time, Balaam comes back with a message from God, and I mean, you got to read the passage, and says, I can't curse them. God says they're blessed. And he's driving the king of Moab crazy because he knows he's in trouble. So that's what this is. This place is super significant because they were doing an archaeological dig here. There was no evidence anywhere of this Balaam, seer of in this country at that time in the Bible. There was no evidence of his existence. They're doing an archaeological dig, and they find an inscription written on the temple up here on this mound. Let me read this to you. This is fascinating. Tel Deir lies about 50 kilometers north of the Dead Sea and 22 kilometers northeast of the confluence of the Zarqa River with the Jordan, where the University of Leiden, Holland has been excavating since 1959 under the direction of H.J. Franken. Let me just skip down here. It dates back to the Middle Bronze Age, 1700 BC, through the Persian Achaemenid period, 538 to 331 BC. But the most important period of occupation was the Iron Age. While working in the 9th century BC level in March of 1967, the technical worker Ali Abdel Rasul discovered a fragment of plaster inscribed with black ink. This is cool. Listen to this. Dr. Franken immediately closed the other excavation squares and set up a tent on the plot. The inscribed plaster was no more than 7 millimeters thick, and the largest piece was about 34 by 34 centimeters. The plaster fragments were consolidated with molten wax. The inscription, which was originally affixed to the wall of the temple, consisted of 2 combinations on 2 lines. Listen to this. The text, written in Aramaic, that begins with the title, Warnings from the Book of Balaam, the son of Beor. That's the dude in the Bible. He was the seer of the gods. The narrator, can't read, and narrates how, and I quote, the gods appeared to him in the night. When Balaam awoke the next morning, he refused to eat and kept weeping, asking what the matter was. He told his people of a council of the gods. The Shaddai gods came together for a meeting and said, the goddess Shagar, do not break the belts of heaven, since in your cloud there is a darkness and no light. Do not pour the fear out of you, nor the fright. End of quote. The gods interceded to stop Shagar from meting out punishment by covering the light with darkness. Much of the second portion of the Deir text is given to curses uttered by Balaam, and this matches the persona of the cursing prophet drawn in the book of Numbers, chapters 22 to 24. Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, saw all of Israel had done to the Amorites. Seized with panic, he sent messengers to summon Balaam, saying, "A people has come out of Egypt and have settled next to me. Now come and put a curse on these people." Numbers 22, 5 through 6. Balaam set out on his donkey, but the animal saw the angel of Yahweh barring the way and turned aside. I'm going to just shorten it up here. Anyway, Balaam beats his donkey like 3 times. The donkey turns around and starts talking to him and says, "Hey man, why are you beating me? There's an angel right there ready to kill us." And it's stopping us from going to Balak and cursing Israel. Anyway, it's just really fantastic. We're about to walk up the hill here to this tell, and this was the spot, based on the archaeological discovery, where Balaam actually was a seer, and where the nobles of Moab came here to meet him and beg him to curse Israel. Let's go check it out.